Happy morning, children. In this link, you will be looking into the long answers, 5 long answers of lesson 14. Carefully watch it, mark the question answers, and write it in your classwork. Have a nice question. Number 1, long answer. Question number 1: how do plants absorb water? Explain. We need to explain. So, how does it absorb? Root hairs on the tip of the root, which absorbs water and minerals by diffusion. First step, they use the principle called diffusion. Second, water from the root hair moves to the cortical cell by osmosis. Okay, osmosis then reach the xylem. From there, the water is transported to the stem and the leaf. This is how it happens. So, we are explaining how do water move. First is by diffusion, second by osmosis. The water is entering into the plant. Now, let's see, explain. We need to explain. For this, we have to move into our textbook, where we have got the osmosis and the diffusion process. The movement of liquid from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration is called diffusion. So you are explaining diffusion here. Then comes osmosis. Osmosis is a movement of solvent or water molecule from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So you have to explain these two processes for the transportation of the water, which you find it in page number 201. 201. Let's discuss long answer. Second question: what is transpiration? Give the importance of transpiration. Okay, you will find transpiration definition in page 212. Glossary points to remember. Evaporation of water in plants through stomata in the leaves. So transpiration is evaporation of water in plants through stomata in the leaves. Let's learn the importance of transpiration, which you find it in page number 203. Significance of transpiration: creates transpiration pool, supplies water for photosynthesis, transport minerals from soil to all parts of the plant, cools the surface of the leaves by evaporation, keeps the cell turgid, hence maintains the shape. So these are the functions, importance of transpiration, which you find in page number 203. Let's look into third question. Why are leukocytes classified as granulocytes and agranulocytes? Name each cell and mention its function. You find this answer in your textbook as paragraphs, but I've shortened it. You can watch this and make note of it. The leukocytes are grouped into two categories: granulocytes and agranulocytes. Okay. Granulocytes, they contain granules in the cytoplasm. Agranulocytes, they do not contain granules in the cytoplasm. Okay, then coming to the functions of granulocytes. The first type is neutrophil. The numbers are increased during infection and inflammation. The second type is eosinophils. The function is their number increase during condition of allergies and parasitic infection. It brings about detoxifications of toxins. The third one, basophils. They release chemical during the process of inflammation. So these three makes your granulocytes. Now coming to agranulocyte, the first type is lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, they produce antibodies during bacterial and viral infection. Monocytes, they are phagocytic and can engulf bacteria. So this is how I've shortened your answers. You can also see that in your textbook. In textbook, you found it a little bigger one. You will find here the granulocytes. The white blood corpuscles can be grouped into two categories: granulocytes, leukocytes. Granulocytes, they consist of granules and the nucleus are irregular. Their types: The size, everything is given, but it's enough if you write the function. This is A granulocytes. Children, carefully make note of this. I've shortened this in the written notes. You can use that notes, or you can use the textbook to prepare your own answer. Question number 4. Differentiate between systole and diastole. Explain the conduction of heartbeat. So first we are going to find the difference. The contraction of the atrium and the ventricle is called the systole. The relaxation of the atrium and the ventricle is called the diastole. So first we have learnt the difference. Contraction is systole and relaxation is diastole. Then coming to the conduction of heart. It is done by the myogenic in nature. Contraction is initiated by sinoatrial SI node. எப்படி நடக்குதுன்னா இந்த SI node தான் அது initiate பண்ணும். ஏற்கனவே pacemakerல நம்ம படிச்சிருக்கோம். The impulses from the sinoatrial node spreads as a wave of contraction over the right and left atricle, pushing the blood through the atrioventricular valve into the ventricles, which emits an impulses of contraction of atrioventricular bundles called the Purkinje fibers. I have shortened it and given. You can make note of this, or you can use the textbook answers also. It's in page number 209. One complete contraction is systole and relaxation is diastole. Okay. Then coming to our initiation and conduction of heartbeat. The heart muscle, human heart is myogenic in nature, and contraction is initiated by special portion of heart muscles called sinoatrial SI node. It is situated in the walls of right atrium near the opening of the superior vena cava, and it is made up of thin fibers. That fiber name is called the Purkinje fibers. I have shortened the entire paragraphs and given. You can read this entire thing and you can prepare your own answers also. So this is the answer for your 4th question. Question number 5. Enumerate the functions of blood. Okay, you find this answer in page number 206. Function of blood. Transports of respiratory gases, transports of digest food material, transport of hormone, transport of nitrogenous excrete products, involved in protection of body and defense against disease, acts as a buffer to maintain the regulation of pH and body temperature, maintains proper water balance in the body. So these are the functions of the blood. You find it in page number 206.